Hi there, it's Nikki and I am back with another set of these author questions that I'm going to answer. So today we're doing 43 through to 48. Now we had a bit of a charged end to the last one with a slightly controversial question, I guess. So hopefully they'll be a bit smoother this time, but I haven't looked ahead, so we'll see what we get. Question 43. I would love to hear anything anyone has to say about book promotions and what works. Well, I wish I knew. It's probably the answer to that one, I guess. I'm trying all the usual sort of things. I'm active on social media. The vlogging here is a new thing I've started in the last 12 months. I do all the general stuff. I do organise blog tours for my books, try and get reviews in with varying levels of success. I do better with the LGBT than the mainstream ones for things like that. I haven't done a lot of paid promotion simply because I don't have the money to. My disposable income is very small at the moment, and so it's only if there's something that I desperately think I can't not do that I'll put money into paid promotion at present. But yeah, it's just the usual sort of thing. I'm trying to be active on social media in a way that you're promoting your work, but that's not all you're doing. You want to engage with the readers, or your potential readers, I should say, in places like Goodreads groups, on Twitter, Facebook groups, joining discussions, joining chats. If someone's asked a question and you've got an answer, pop that in a comment, and just get yourself noticed as a member of the book community, rather than just sitting there going, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. That's the only thing I can really suggest. I'm not a pro myself. I'm still working on trying to find out the best things to do and trying new things when I see them online. So that's all I can suggest. Keep an eye open, look out for the latest trends, but just make yourself available and be open to conversations and not just sitting there throwing your book at people. Question 44. Would you ever consider writing in a genre outside your scope for exposure money? My work span quite a few genres anyway, so it's not as if I'm only writing fantasy and I'd maybe write a paranormal book if someone paid me loads of money, but so I think this is probably not a relevant question for me because I'll write in any genre anyway. So would I do it for good exposure? I don't write a lot of horror, so if someone gave me an option to write a horror story for exposure, would I do it? Probably, if I had a good idea for the story. I wouldn't send in rubbish just for the sake of it, but if I thought I could do something with the work, with the idea, then I would do it, yeah. Question 45. How much do major world events influence your writing? Not at all, really. We've covered this before a little bit in some of the other questions on things like controversial issues and political correctness and things like that. I write historical fiction, so sometimes events that have happened in the past are incorporated into my stories. There's one story that took place during the Great Exhibition, for example. So historical events play a part, but in terms of trying to bring in current politics or current situations, then no, I don't really do that in my stories. Question 46. How do you use your blog or website to promote your writing? Okay, so anyone who's been on my website, you'll see that I have tabs for my different types of books. So the Ragnarok Chronicles, as my major work, gets a tab all on its own because it's so special. In my mind anyway. And then I have tabs for like my MF novels, tabs for my MF short stories, tabs for like short stories, novels, novellas, tabs for other LGBT short stories, anthologies and things. So those pages are just, they're always there. They're just part of the site. In addition, I'll obviously put out posts when I've got new releases. But other than that, I promote it really by putting up other content that will hopefully bring people to my blog who will then see my books. So I write how-to posts on things like writing and editing, vlogs such as the one I'm filming right this moment for you. I do book reviews of the books that I read during the year. I do blog hops most weekends that I take part in about book blogging, what books am I reading at the moment, answering questions and things like that. I do author interviews, invite other authors to my blog for a set interview, or I'll post quite a lot of blog tours from other people as well, and just share some of their content in the hope that they reciprocate later when I've got a book out. So yeah, I think again it's a bit like we were talking about earlier with the promotion and the social media. It's about not just throwing your book at people all the time with no end, you know, just buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. You need to make your content interesting so that people are coming to your site to see something, to learn something, and at the same time they'll see the information about your books there as well and would hopefully then read on and maybe buy them. Question 47. How do you portray different cultures in your writing? Now, this is an interesting one. I mean, I have to say I don't write a lot of other cultures. A lot of my stories are set in England or Australia, and the Australian ones have mainly been sort of more immigrant than First Peoples or Aboriginal culture or anything like that. I've done a fair bit of Norse mythology and things, obviously in the Ragnarok Chronicles. I've written a few other stories with a hint of Norse mythology, and I wrote my series of MM short stories that were based on fairy tales and myths, and you know, one of those was Maori, some of the others were Germanic, one was French. So yeah, I mean, I don't think most of my works tend to feature people from my own ethnical background and cultural background, but that's just because they're the kind of characters that come to my head because they're the ones I'm most familiar with. So I wouldn't be against writing a story based in another culture. I did write another folklore piece about Brazilian folklore as well. However, I think there's a slight problem these days because of this way that people are now accusing other people of cultural appropriation. Sorry, I don't even know what I'm saying today. Cultural appropriation is the word I was trying to get out of my mouth there, but it's obviously that time of day. The afternoon's moving on and my brain is not keeping up. Cultural appropriation is what we're trying to say. And it's now like you know, you'll get accused of appropriating someone else's culture if you dare to write it in your book when it's not your own. This is another one of these sort of new politically correct things that's coming in a bit, especially with the rise of self-publishing. And so it's like we're told, you know, you'll get told off for only writing your own culture, but then when you try to write another culture, you get told you're appropriating it. So it is a little bit of a minefield, I think, which is another reason that I have avoided it, because if you do it, you need to do it right, and even if you do it right, you can still like face backlash for having done it at all. So that's the main reason I'd say at the moment why I'm mostly sticking to my own sort of realm of experience, if you like. And lastly, question 47. What's your least favourite part of the writing and publishing process? Well, of the marketing that we discussed at the start, just to bring us full circle back to the first question of the day. I find the marketing very hard. It is difficult because you're sort of yelling into the void, but then you're told, whatever you do, don't yell into the void, you know. You try and do the right things and build relationships with readers, but all that takes time. And I don't know about the rest of you guys, or the other authors out there, but I mean, my time is limited and I spend hours on social media as it is. And to try and do more and to answer more questions and to send more comments to people, you know, I'd be on there all day and I still wouldn't be doing enough. So it's difficult, it's a balance. You want to be writing new stuff, obviously. You don't want to spend all your time just desperately trying to promote the last work that came out. You want to keep creating. So for me, that's the toughest thing. I don't mind the writing, I don't mind the editing, I don't mind the preparation, but once it's out and you have to try and get people to buy it, that's the bit that's hard for me. So my voice is starting to go a little bit and the afternoon is dragging on, so I think it's probably time to end there for today. I will be back next time when we will start off with question 49. We are pushing towards the end, people. We've got about 30 questions left, 31. So just a few videos to go, but I will see you all next time. Bye for now.